Good afternoon on this lovely Saturday as we witness yet another encounter between ETOSHA Lions and Oranjemund. The far north meets the far south as we currently observe a moment of silence for Ibn Isaks, the rugby player, former Namibia rugby player, as well as the father of our number 12-13, Yalkino Isaks. Please do allow us to have a moment of silence for him. With all that has been said and done, we witness yet another finals for the first division between ETOSHA Lions as well as Oranjemund, led by none other than Gino Wilson, former Namibia player as well. We yet to witness another encounter, and with me in studio as well, Donovan Kanji, as we just quickly look at the lineouts there for ETOSHA Lions. Men to watch: Morkel, of course, number 7 there, Philip Atushe as well, and as well as Guvisha Sharonda for ETOSHA Lion as well. As we now look at the Oranjemund lineup, Gino Wilson leading the pack there in number 1. Mr. Beekers himself, also one of the players to really look out for today's encounter. Ryan Worms as well, one of the players that you should look out for today as we witness yet another encounter of a final of this first. Donovan, what do we make of this fixture today?
Yeah, I think, Henry, first, good morning to our viewers. It's a beautiful day for rugby. The weather is perfect. It's clear skies, and not too hot, not too cold. And then as far as the game is concerned, I think it's yet another encounter, as you said, between these two stalwarts of the Namibian First Division. That is Oranjemund having dominated the southern stream, and then ETOSHA having dominated the northern stream. They find themselves in a final, and I have spoken to Gino Wilson before the game, and he had a strong confidence and aura around him in securing a victory today. He did mention a concern to them that they do play a lot less games compared to the northern stream, so that is probably something that the NRU should look into. But otherwise, we're here. Let's see what the game gives us, Henry.
As we witness yet the first scrum of the game there, clearly dominated by the ETOSHA Lions. Ball in hand there, number 2 for ETOSHA Lion, Grobler, who is met well in defense. Falling over is the call there by the referee. It's interesting to see what ETOSHA Lion will do early in this game today. Philippus Tuya there, also a former player of the Wanderers, and currently playing his trade there for the ETOSHA Lions. Very, very young yet strong fella. ETOSHA looking to put the first points on the scoreboard there with their vice captain Franklin Bosch. Who slots that beautifully between the posts there. ETOSHA puts the first point on the board there by Franklin, their vice captain.
Penalty goal by number 12 of ETOSHA Lions, Franklin Bush.
Franklin Bush putting the first points on the board. ETOSHA, if you're just joining us, we're live from Hage Geingob Stadium on this beautiful Saturday afternoon to witness yet another final. With ball in hand there, captain Gino Wilson, former Namibia player as well. Great kickoff. up into the Windhoek sky. Looks like a slow game so far. With ball in hand there, Ronald Solomon about to feed the scrum for Oranjemund. Second scrum of the game if you're joining us. Great better scrum there from Oranjemund. With ball in hand, number 10 there, Heinrich Solomon. Stolen, and according to the ref, it's a knock-on. Down on the floor there, seems like Ryan there getting some medical attention as we just look at the bench of ETOSHA Lions. Donovan, the game looks very stop-start. What do you make of this? What are the viewers to expect today in this final of the first reserve league?
I think it's still very early to tell, but it's going to be a very speedy game, a game that is going to be determined by the backline. Unfortunately, though, as per Gino Wilson, they haven't played some rugby in 6 weeks, and that could be attributed to these injuries that they are getting so early in the game, Henry.
Yeah, no, definitely. The number 13 there of Oranjemund, Ryan, who finds his way back on his feet as we are yet to witness yet another scrum. It's only been 3 minutes and we have the third scrum. Is it a scrum per minute kind of game, this one, Donovan? Seems like it.
Yeah, very much.
So far, it definitely looks like ETOSHA Lion dominating the scrum. Seems like the man down there, referee continues play. Definitely great dominance there by Oranjemund. However, the ball comes out on ETOSHA Lions side. Dummy, sold and bought. Number 13 with ball in hand there, Devon Stein, who plays it right to his number 10 jersey, Niall. Met well by Gino Wilson. However, ball turned around illegally, according to the ref. Yet another error in this game that has only lasted us for 4 minutes so far. The score, if you're just joining us, ETOSHA 3, Oranjemund 0. Great touch finder there by Niall with in your screen. The boys from the north leading early in the game, and we'll hope it stays that way for the rest of the game. A player down there on the field as the ref calls for time off. Time off according to the ref. Game is back on as we witness the first line out for ETOSHA Lion with ball in hand. Grobler himself. ETOSHA retain the Oranjemund retains the ball. Heinrich with a great touch find, however not finding touch. Nico van Staan missing that one out of the air.
Yeah, no, Henry, he absolutely made a meal of that, and I wonder if he had touched that ball. I think the linesman nor the ref are too sure at the moment, and it seems like he did touch it, because Oranjemund does get the line out there So it will be their first line out of the game for Oranjemund. Turnover there from ETOSHA Lions. Henry, what do you think?
Definitely a poor line out there by ETOSHA Lion. Making a mill of that. Oranjemund, sorry, my mistake. With ball in hand there. ETOSHA Lions, number 10. Niall met well in defense. Great kick there by ball in handy, number 11 of Samando, who is met well by the ETOSHA defense. Samando back on his feet to play the ball. Definitely seems like Oranjemund has twins on the field right there. Roward and Samando, Stefanus with ball in hand there for ETOSHA Lions is Fernando, about to feed the scrum. Very stop and go kind of game today that we're witnessing. It could also be due to the fact that they haven't played rugby in a minute, Donovan, don't you think?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think ETOSHA Lions haven't played in about a month, and Oranjemund haven't played in about a month and a half, 6 weeks, I think, if my information has me correct. So it will attribute to a very lackluster game and a lot of discipline issues, as we've noticed in this game, and then a lot of stop-starts as well, a lot of set pieces. It seems, Henry, at the moment, a lot like an American football game as compared to a rugby game.
Yeah, no, definitely. So far, if my count is not wrong, we have witnessed at least 8. Great step there by Oranjemund. Running, however, not getting 2 meters. Yet another great clean out there. Gino Wilson with ball in hand, who kicks, hoisted up high into the Windhoek sky with a great touch finder there by the most experienced player currently on the field, Gino Wilson. What a kick by the captain there from Oranjemund. Almost a 52-22, yet not. If you're just joining us, we are live at Hagekengom Stadium to witness another final between ETOSHA and Oranjemund. 8 minutes played and the score is currently 3-0 for the ETOSHA Lions, the boys from the north. So far, you haven't missed much if you're just joining us. With ball in hand there, Grobler for ETOSHA Lions to feed the line out. Who feeds Oranjemund's line out, so it seems. Number 9 with the step there, Ronald Solomon, met well by the number 5 of ETOSHA Lion, Van Vieren. Pick and go is the call there by Oranjemund, of course. Another pick and go there by Van Wyk. Counting 4 phases right now for Oranjemund. Alone with ball in hand, met high there by the ETOSHA defense. Call by the referee is penalty for a high tackle.
Yeah, Henry, I wonder if he had just let it go for a few more seconds, if we would have witnessed a beautiful try there by Simandu Stefanus as he was headed for the try line, and unfortunately the game had been stopped.
Definitely they don't have, and again, the rule of advantage not applied well there. Gino Wilson to add or to open the scoring for the Oranjemund boys, of course. Gino Wilson, also a former Namibia player. Gino Wilson lining this one up. Hits the upright. Samando knocks it on the... That is what you call a coach killer. Apology there. Rodwood, who just messes it up. Fortunately, a very, very, very bad error there. They could have, of course, converted a 3-pointer into a 5-pointer. Ball in hand, about to feed the scrum there. Fernando, in your screen there, the men, they just missed an opportunity to put the score to level terms. Gino Wilson. A great scrum there by the boys from ETOSHA. Exit is the call. Clearly, Robert Stefanus there. Oh, met well there by Franklin, the vice captain. With ball in head, Heinrich Salomon, who offloads it to Ryan Isaacs. Plays it wide, dummy. Again, Tempers. Again, yet another coach killer there. Donovan, is this going to be a game of errors? Clearly nobody seems to want their ball in hand.
Yeah, absolutely, Henry. I think the fitness is a huge issue in this game, as Oranjemund is looking to miss that cutting edge, as you could see. Being an experienced player in Gino Wilson, he missed a kick almost right in front of goal, and then their winger there in Rodwood Stefanus, as we see there, the replay there, another error there, for this time from the hooker in Juniors Bierkes. So I think, Henry, the fitness is definitely a huge contributing factor to the fact that they're just all over the place in Oranjemund, and ETOSHA Lions do seem to be the better team, as Stefanus picks up the ball there, Gino Wilson on the ball, and then their number 24 there in Wayne Joachimson. Henry, again, they couldn't convert that ball there into tries.
Who offloads it to his captain, Gino Wilson, who dots it down for the opening score for Oranjemund. Captain leading from the front, Gino Wilson. TMO is the call there by the ref, who is currently consulting with his official, of course, who then awards the try for Gino Wilson to opening the score for Oranjemund. Great job done there by Heinrich Salomon, who offloads it to his captain. A similar kick, Gino Wilson, that he has now. As we look at that replay, Somando, who plays number 10 there, dummies one and offloads it to his captain. Great try there by the boys from Oranjemund. Gino Wilson to add an additional 2 points there for the boys from Oranjemund. If you're just joining us, we are live from Hage Geingob Stadium to witness the first of many games. Gino Wilson this time makes sure that he adds the additional 2 points. The score is currently 7-3 for the boys from the south.
Yeah, Henry, Gino Wilson taking lead there from the back, as he's the experienced guy in the team. He has the 7 points for Oranjemund, having scored and converted his own try. So I think he's trying to lead by example there, and I think he's moved into the center position from the fullback position, Henry.
Yeah, no, definitely we had a very unforeseen situation there by Theodore, who unfortunately had to make way as his injuries would not allow him to continue any further in this game. as we get back into the game. Gino Wilson with ball in hand, who hoisted high into the Windhoek sky, however doesn't find touch. Ball in hand there. Turner, who kicks it again. Great kick there, however not finding touch. Number 11, ball in hand. Samando Stefanus offloads it to Gino Wilson. Gino Wilson met well by the ETOSHA defense. An offload, not finding hand. Referee calls for an offside in favor of the boys from Oranjemund. Again, yet another injury there, however finding his way back on his feet. The two brothers in Stefanus, one of them in your screen right there. As we look into the stands, Johnny van der Mueño as well, who fell short. Kick not finding touch there. Number 8, ball in hand. Sharonda plays it to his number 13, David Stein. Great kick there. 50-22 is the call, or should be the call, of course, by the referee. Great kick there by the vice captain Franklin Bosch. The man in your screen there from the ETOSHA Lions, as he is applauded, of course, by his teammates and his number 10, Neil Donovan.
Yeah, Franklin is the brother to Miguel Bush, who we know very well in the Namibian scene, having represented the Valviches at Currie Cup level in the South African competitions, and then also playing his trade in Rehoboth for the Rehoboth team, the Rehoboth Rugby Club, that is.
The question should be asked: are they not twins, though? Franklin and the brother.
It could be.
Great line out there by the ETOSHA. Philippus plays it to his number 10. Ball in hand, Turner. Again, ground lost there by the ETOSHA Lions. Definitely a stop-still game currently that we're experiencing. Having a line out in your 22 and losing the ball almost to the half line is a coach killer, one would call it, Donovan.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think this game is very scrapey. It hasn't really found its feet as we're trying to find momentum and trying to figure out really, Henry, who has the upper hand or has the edge upon the other in this game. So I think we definitely need to let this flow for a bit. I think the referee in Antonio has to let it flow for a bit and see where it goes, Henry, because it's been stopping too much, and as a result, we haven't really. I don't think the fans have got their money's worth at the moment.
Ball in hand there, Keenan Beekers, who plays Gino Wilson. Samando finds Wayne, beats one, beats two. However, again, yet another stop. Samando, if my counting is right, that's at least his third knock on just in today's game. I don't know how many other times he has knocked during the season, but that's already too much for one play in one game.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But Henry, I think to cut the boys some slack, this is the third tier league in Namibia. So I think we're quite some way off from the Premier League standards that one would usually watch, especially here in Windhoek, Henry.
No, definitely, it's definitely not what we are accustomed to. As we witness yet another scrum. Fernando to feed the scrum there for ETOSHA Lion. Very steady scrum. Cole is used it. Fernando with ball in hand. Met well. Great turnover ball there by the boys from Oranjemund. However, Not releasing is the call by the referee. Great touch finder there by Turner.
Yeah, and then I think it comes down to awareness of the rules and understanding of the game and essentially your rugby IQ, you know, because the player had a very good turnover and then he went off his feet and then obviously he was held onto, and as a result he needed to let go of the ball before he plays it again.
Yeah, no, definitely Donovan. Bosch with ball in hand, who plays it to his number 13, Divan Stein. Bosch once more again looking like a busy fella today. Met well by the Oranjemund defense, however not releasing the again. Clearly it seems like the ref summoning someone for a quick chat. High tackle is the call there by the referee. Within a span of 20 minutes, we have seen at least 3 players go down so far. And right now, 2 are simultaneously down. The medic calling for a stretcher there. Clearly seems like a Bosch there, who meets his way back on his feet after the medic called for a stretcher. He says this will not bring it down. As we look at the replay there,
yeah, I mean, no player would want to get off in a final in the last game of the season, Henry, and especially so early, after 20 minutes played. I don't think you'd enjoy the beer as much. Even if you do get the victory, I don't think you would enjoy the beer as much compared to your counterparts who go all the way to the 80th minute.
No, definitely Donovan. Oh, whatever that was. Great kick there by Theodore Steenkamp, who now, if you're just joining us again, Oranjemund 7. Yes, the rule there clearly stipulates that the kicker must set up the kick, the ball himself, and that is what the ref there just made it known to the players. Yet another line out there for the boys from ETOSHA. Grobler there, who's about to feed the line out. Fortunately again, ball not finding hand. Knock on is the call by the ref as we see the boys from Oranjemund applauding. It's been more of a stop than a rugby game. As we witness yet another scrum so far, the scrums looking well matched by these two sides.
Henry, this game is pretty much a family affair, as I should mention the halfbacks in Ronald and Heinrich Solomons are cousins in the Oranjemund team, and then obviously we have the Stefanus brothers, and then we spoke about the Bush brothers in Franklin and Miguel. I did see Miguel on the bench there carrying the tea and some water. So I think he is affiliated to the ETOSHA Lions now. So it's pretty much a family affair today, Henry.
No, definitely. Even if you look at the surname Biekas, the amount of time it appears on this team sheet, one would actually assume that, of course, it is definitely a family affair. However, today we are yet here to witness another final great scrum there by the ETOSHA Lions. However, retention of the ball is good. Gino Wilson, who offloads it to Stefanus, who is met well there by the ETOSHA defense. Great retention of the ball. Ball in hand, who feeds is number 10, Solomon Heinrich. Great carry there. What a fan, what a man. Great strong carry there. The call is penalty is the call there by the referee. Interesting to see what the boys from Oranjemund are going to call. Request for a quick tap and go through Keenan Biekas. Great pick and goal once more again. Retention of the ball looking well for the boys from Oranjemund. Yet another pick and go. Great there as he marshals his way over the line. However, the ref calls for consultation with the linesman, eagerly waiting to see what the call will be, of course. It's a try from the boys from the south. The score, if you're just joining us, is now 12-3 for in favor of the Oranjemund boys. Johnny van der Moinho in your screen also, who played the final. As we have yet another look at that try scored by Oranjemund. It's clear as daylight that is definitely a try. Gino Wilson to add an additional 2 points, who so far scored 7 points for the boys from Oranjemund. Gino Wilson to add an additional 2 points there to extend this lead. Great kick, however, missed to the left by the captain of Oranjemund, Gino Wilson. The score remains 12-3. As we look at the replay for that try scored there by the boys from the south. After 3-4 phases, looks like the sub is about to happen.
Henry, 2 substitutions in the first 20 minutes of the game. First 20-25 minutes of the game. One again asks that question, as we see the scoreline there, 12 points to Oranjemund and 3 to ETOSHA. As I was saying, Henry, one would beg to ask the question, is that something to do with their fitness? Is that testament to fitness, or is it just that they're playing a very physical encounter today?
Again, Donovan, we mentioned, almost a great kick there by Gino Wilson. We've mentioned the fact that game time is important, right? And which is a problem that we have been having with our national team, which if you're just joining us, of course, you will be able to witness them and play the Erling Pumas later today. However, Donovan, as we're speaking about fitness being a huge concern, again, match fitness, also one of the things that we should talk about. Both these teams have not played rugby within a span of a month, which is very much concerning, and it's evident, taking into consideration the amount of stops that we have seen so far, as well as the injuries that you've just mentioned. It's only been 27 minutes, and if 2 substitutions have already happened, that is already too much.
Absolutely, Henry. We get up for a line out there by Oranjemund's hooker in the 22 jersey in Junior's Bierkus.
As he feeds the line out, however, line out not finding head. Sharonda, who carries greatly, but met well by the Oranjemund defense. But ETOSHA retains the ball, plays it deep to the man who just came on the field, the Redman. Great touch finder. According to the goal, it's a free kick there for Oranjemund for ETOSHA Lions for obstruction. In your screen there, the number 1 jersey, Philippus Toya, also a Premier League winner with F&B Wanderers, of course, a few years back, who now is playing his trade for the ETOSHA Lions. Great kick there. However, Macwell by Wayne, who beats Macwell. Great defense there, and even better counter ruck, however illegally done so. Again, Donovan, we've mentioned earlier how the rules are not being used to the advantage of the player there. Great tackle, almost a great counter ruck, however just over eager.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Again, it comes down to awareness of the laws and appreciation of the laws. And as we knew back in the day, All Black legend Richie Moko was one of the greatest in appreciating the rugby laws. And speaking of Richie Moko, his famous Crusaders have done it again. 16-12 versus the Chiefs in the Super Rugby final today, Henry.
Yeah, no, definitely a well-deserved victory there for the Crusaders, of course, who clinched the Super Rugby finals against the lock leaders, of course, in the name Chiefs, who unfortunately fell short this time around. Yet another final, if you're just joining us, great carry there by Devon Stain. Pick and go is the call for Morkel, who's met well by the Oranjemund defense. Sharonda with ball in hand, beats one, offloads to Stain. Philippus with ball in hand, however, the pitch clearly not wide enough for him. And it's a line out by linesman Mate. ETOSHA looking to play this quick through Tema.
Again, Henry, appreciation of the laws. The law clearly stipulates if the linesman has raised his flag and indicated the line, the line out mark, it's too late to play it quick.
Very much so, Donovan, with ball in hand. Bierkus about to feed yet another line out. Who feeds the ETOSHA line out, it seems. Temas, who meets the ETOSHA attack. Great kick if you speak of distance there from number 21 Redman, who just came on in place of Niall. Samando, chip and chase. Again another kick, but gathered by Turner. Sharonda with ball in hand. Samando. Oh! Theodore. Great defense there. That deserves a 5-pointer, one must say. A tackle of that nature definitely deserves a 5-pointer. That is what you call a try-saving tackle there by the boys from ETOSHA. Devon Stain, of course, putting his body on the line to make sure that they do not concede once more again. Donovan.
Henry, it depends on how you look at it. Yes, it was a try-saving tackle, but it was a high tackle. So he is lucky to, as we see the replay there. Unfortunately, it was cut short, and a beautiful try there to Oranjemund, and it seems like their number 8 in Keenan Bierkes getting up with the ball and getting the applause there.
Definitely yet another try from Keenan. A try from Keenan Bierkes. There on your screen, of course, the score if you're just joining us. (17-3) in favor of Oranjemund as we approach the halftime break. Gino to add yet this difficult kick. So far his kicking has not been living up to par. As we just look at the quick tap, the replay of that try, beats 1, beats 2, just to dot it down. Gino Wilson to add an additional 2 points there for the boys from Oranjemund. Gino Wilson, unfortunately. Oh, that is a great kick. It is over. My eyes clearly lying to me as you see the applaud there from the boys from Oranjemund. The score is now 19-3. Looking like yet another runaway final, it seems, for the boys from Oranjemund, who clearly are here to win by hook or crook. As we look at the score there, 19-3 in favor of Oranjemund, who face the boys from Tsumeb, ETOSHA Lions, of course. Bosch with a great kick high into the Windhoek sky. Forward is the call by the referee. How that happened, we yet to confirm. Scrum is the call, of course. Men down there getting medical attention.
Henry, it's interesting that the ref didn't give a penalty to Oranjemund there for the player being taken out in the air, because that he did land dangerously and he seems to be hurt. So it's interesting that he awarded a scrum to the ETOSHA Lions as opposed to a penalty to Oranjemund there.
I think that was the consultation between Mate, who also picked it up, of course, with this ref, and clearly they came to some sort of consensus. However, the call is already, the ref's call is final, as we have known to see. Back on his feet there, Terma. And he is sticking to his call, of course.
Henry, this is the battle of the miners, as both these boys come from mining towns. Tsumeb, of course, being the famous mining town attributed to copper, and then Oranjemund, as Guvi Shita picks the ball up there, and unfortunately it seems like he has lost it. Oh, he retains it.
Divan staying there with a great carry, who offloads it to his number 14, George Mentos. Calls for it, is number 20 there, Somsep. Not the Somsep that we know, who also won the Premier League with FNB Kudus, of course. Great counter run there by the boys from the town of Oranjemund, however illegally done so. Penalty is the call. Interesting to see what ETOSHA Lions will do. Looking for a quick tap, however opting for the line out. Very interesting call to see there, as we have seen. Line outs clearly not going in any of the favors of the team, of course. Franklin Bosch there, the vice captain. Grobler to feed the line out, and does so well. Guvi with the ball in hand, great carry, beats 1, beats 2, almost got it to the red. That's a try. Great try there by the boys from Tsumeb. As Donovan mentioned earlier, it is a mining final. Oranjemund, of course, and Tsumeb, well known for their resources that they both present. Franklin Bosch there to add an additional 2 points. The score currently 19-8 in favor on Oranjemund. Bosch converts, and that is 19-10 is the score as the ref blows for half-time. As we look at yet that great try there scored by Guvishita. Sharonda beats one, beats two. Try time is the score by the referee. The score is currently 19-10 in favor of the boys from the south. If you're just joining us, 19-10 is the score there on the screen, led by the boys from Oranjemund. Very stop-steady game that we have witnessed so far. Hopefully, we'll to expect a better second half, Donovan.
Yeah, no, I think ETOSHA will be the happier side going into halftime, having scored right at the stroke of it. So I think they have that momentum going into the half, and then second half they'll hope to carry that momentum and try to score early. They'll definitely try to be the first scorers if they're to get back into this one, Henry.
No, definitely it's a great way to end this. The first half, of course, ETOSHA Lion. One would hope they keep the momentum going into the second half. As we wait for the spectators to fill up the Hage Geingob Stadium, we will be witnessing the Erling Pumas, of course, taking on the Volviches. If you're just joining us, the score is 19-10 in favor of Oranjemund. We are at the Hage Geingob. ETOSHA Lions coach in your screen, they're clearly not happy with what he has seen so far. Clearly very emotional, as rugby is that game that brings out the emotions in people, of course. Temperature in Windhoek, 22 degrees Celsius. As we're witnessing yet another final. If you missed it, a few weeks back, Kudus were crowned champions of the Reserve League as well as the Premier League, and they made history by winning the Premier League for the very first time in their rugby history, of course. And today we're witnessing yet another finals between the ETOSHA Lions as well as Oranjemund. Definitely a great day of rugby today at the Hage Geingob Stadium. Speaking of history, Oranjemund will of course win the first division for the very first time, if of course the score remains. As we look at the highlights of the first half, of course, Bosch there who puts the very first points on the board, and then Gino Wilson, who responded almost instantly, one would say, with his own 7-pointer with that try, of course. Great try there by Gino Wilson, made by his number 10, of course, Heinrich Solomon, who just offloaded it to him there. After 3 phases of rugby there, the boys from Oranjemund had another try, of course, which extended the score to 12 for the boys for Oranjemund. Keenan Beekers who opted for a quick tap and go there to score the third try for the boys from the south. And Gino Wilson added a very difficult, of course, conversion. Gubishita, who showed great strength and courage to add an additional or score just at the brink of half time, and added an additional 2 points, was of course their vice captain Franklin Bosch. So far it's been definitely a stop-still game between these two sides. Try scorers in today's game: Gino Wilson, Guvi Sharonda, as well as Keenan Bierkes.
Yeah, reset it.
Definitely a good day for rugby today. If you're just joining us, we are at the Haki Kaingop for the first division finals between the ETOSHA Lions and the boys from Oranjemund. Not of course your very common Gemsbok that you know, however the Gemsbok that is from Oranjemund. The stand still very empty. I'm sure the crowds and spectators waiting for the 3 o'clock mouth-watering fixture between the Erling Pumas and the Volvichas. Players to look out for in today's game between these two sides that of course really put up their hands today is Franklin Bosch and Samando Stefanas. Gino Wilson, of course, a former Volvicha player himself, a national team player as well. Sharonda also a number 8 for the ETOSHA Lions. Very, very great carrier of the ball. In your screen there, Philippus Chuya, again, a former Premier League winner with the F&B Wanderers side, of course, as well as a reserve league winner, one must mention. A player with great accolades, I must say. Scrum session looking like that, Donovan, it's clearly been the highlight of today's game. We've seen so many scrums, and clearly even off and on the field. Second half about to kick off, of course, between Oranjemund and the ETOSHA Lions. The boys from Tsumeb currently find themselves behind. Clearly a year of history as the Oranjemund boys are leading currently and hope to make history today by winning this league, of course, led by their captain Gino Wilson.
Yeah, Henry, I think one will ask the question, how big would it be for the town of Oranjemund if they clinch this title, Henry? As we know, Oranjemund being a Namdeb town, do you think the diamond miners would inject some money into the team if they clinch this one and hopefully see them in the Premier League next season?
One would hope for that, Donovan. We're definitely looking into diversity, but with the amount of errors that we have seen so far, one would say the Premier League is far-fetched for them. However, if you just speak of finances in itself, it could do a difference for the town of Oranjemund. I mean, we have seen the parades that Kudus have been doing on their social media platforms when it comes to parading their trophies that they have won, visiting schools. I'm sure not only it would mean definitely a milestone to the town of Oranjemund. Perhaps this is what they need in the town to see that recognition. Obviously, media playing a very, very, very pivotal role in making sure that the victory is known to everybody.
Yeah, no, absolutely, Henry. And I mean, if you look at the winners of last year in Dolphins, I think this year they've done not too badly in the Premier League. I mean, they didn't look out of place as we come back there in the second half. Great kickoff there from Gino Wilson, picked up by the ETOSHA Lions. And number 20 there in Eldrick Gloucester plays it out. ETOSHA Lions still on the ball. Scrum off for the ETOSHA Lions, finds Denver Malcolm, the number 7 jersey. Henry, what do you think of this second half?
Definitely, if you're just joining us, we are witnessing the second half of the First Division final, of course. Coming straight live for you from the Hage Geingob Stadium. The score is 19-10 in favor of Oranjemund. Great carry there by the number 20, Somsep. The base of the ruck, Philippus, who offloads it to his number 2, Grobler. Philippus again with ball in hand. Great carry, beats 1. Not beating 2, however, the ball available at the deck. Morkel there, who is met well by the Oranjemund defense. Grobler with ball in hand. Looking a bit high there, however, Speaker clearly missing it, the referee. Kicking. Somsep will let it run there by Samando Stefanus. Not the best of kicks there, of course. The ETOSHA Lions looking to pick off where they left off just before halftime. Scoring a game-changer try, one would call it. Of course, just at the brink of halftime. Unfortunately, very, very poor kick there by the boys from ETOSHA. Again, yet another player down. It's been the summary of the game, actually. Player getting some medical attention there. Speaker, of course, the official in today's game. As he is known to the Namibian game, his name is actually Antonio. Man in the screen there, of course, vastly experienced referee. Yet another scrum there. First scrum into the second half. With ball in hand there. Fernando about to feed. Sorry, apologies. Keenan, Ronald Solomons about to feed the scrum, of course, for the boys from Oranjemund. Gino Wilson giving the call there, currently on outside center. Scrum fed, however, great scrum there by the ETOSHA Lions, who earned themselves a penalty from great hard work. Clearly, we thought that the scrums were well balanced. However, Donovan, it seems like the ETOSHA Lions definitely looking like the Lions that they are.
No, absolutely. They steamrolled over the boys from Oranjemund there. I don't think they expected something like that. Great momentum there, and especially from Philippus Tui. I think that run he had a few moments ago gave him some inspiration, and when he got into that scrum, I think he absolutely steamrolled over the Oranjemund boys there, Henry.
No, definitely the boys from ETOSHA, they're looking to add the score, of course. Score currently 19-10. Great kick, however, not earning the 3 points. Ref calling the captain of Oranjemund, of course. Clearly another penalty for Chats. For the Chats, it seems like. Again, Donovan, these two teams not using the laws of the game in their favor, more against them more than anything else. Kinnan, Biekus, Bosch, of course, getting another opportunity to rectify the 3 points he just missed, of course.
Yeah, no, I think he gets a freebie there, but it was very interesting, Henry. The ref had us in suspense, and he brings us back again a few meters back. So I think we're in suspense here. I think this is some Oscar-winning script had it been a Netflix series, eh?
Yeah, no, definitely, Donovan. The man in control there, of course, the referee, he has the last say, and according to him, that was uncalled for the Oranjemund boys, and he awards, of course, a penalty. Franklin Bosch to rectify his mistake. Of course, life doesn't give you second opportunity, but clearly today it's happening. Again, makes sure of this attempt. If life gives you lemon, make lemon juice, and that's exactly what Franklin Bosch does there by adding an additional 3 points to narrow the score to just 6 points. Welcome to Hage Geingob Stadium. If you're just joining us, Gino Wilson with ball in hand to get this game back underway. High into the Windhoek sky. Sharonda collects well. Somsepte, great carry at the base of the ruck. Philippus again. Great strong carry. However, met well by the Oranjemund defense. Penalty is the call. Yet another stop-stale game. 5 minutes into this game, and we have already witnessed at least 5 incidences. Donovan, what do you make of this game so far?
Yeah, it's pretty stop-start, as was the first half, especially the first few minutes of the first half. But I think it's slowly starting to gain momentum, Henry. I think if the ref lets it slide for a little bit, I think we're going to witness some running rugby.
Again, well mentioned there, Donovan. The fact that the ref is just not appreciating the fact that this is a stop-still game. Perhaps he should allow the game just to flow a little bit more. Seems like we have 2 diesel engines today on the field. Philippus with ball in hand, beats one with a great step. However, Matt well. Great steal there by the boys from the south. Terma with ball in hand at the base of the ruck, of course. Solomon, who plays it out to Ryan Isaacs. Gino Wilson there with ball in hand. Theodore Steenkamp. Great retention of the ball, of course, for the boys from Oranjemund. Heinrich Solomon beats one there. Again, Oranjemund still with ball in hand. However, not gaining much meters, of course. Moving vertically more than anything else. We're making our way to the 5th and 6th phase of the game. However, there's no ground being gained, Donovan. What is happening? Great kick there behind the defense, and even a better chase. Turner left alone in his backyard. Gerald Finch, who kicks, however, not finding touch. Great attack there by Somando Steenkamp. Knock on is the call again by the referee. Somando Stefanos, hero and a villain in today's game, gaining great meters, however also losing so many of the balls for the like of Oranjemund. Donovan, a much better flowing kind of rugby that we have seen in the past 3 minutes. One would hope the game can continue, of course, at this pace, just for the viewer.
Yeah, no, absolutely, Henry. I think, like I said before, the ref needs to let it slide for a little bit. And if you look at the try line, the score line, I mean, 6 points in it, I think that attributes to a more physical and a more nerve-wracking game, Henry. If the scoreline is so close, both teams are still pretty much in it, and none of them have the body language of it's over. You get what I'm saying?
No, definitely, Donovan. I'm totally in agreement with you on that one. It clearly seems like both these teams still want to win it, and a 6-pointer is definitely just the try away as ETOSHA gets ready to feed the scrum through Morkel there, who unfortunately now, not proper bending there is the call from the ref, as ETOSHA, as Oranjemund looks to extend their lead to their captain Gino Wilson, who opts to go for post.
Scoreboard pressure, Henry. I think it's a good call there by Gino Wilson, showing great experience to keep the pressure on the ETOSHA Lions, to keep to bring back the scoreline to a 9-pointer, and hopefully keep them away from winning this one, Henry.
No, definitely, Donovan. At the end of the day, it's the amount of points you have at the final, not the amount of tries that you have scored. So Gino Wilson obviously trying to extend the lead with this penalty that he lines up. Unfortunately misses it. ETOSHA looking to run it out of their own half, of course. Turner with a great kick far into the Oranjemund half. Carry there, Biekus Keenan, who is met well. Pick and go is the call. Gino Wilson in pocket to, of course, kick it, charge down straight into the hands of Divan Steyn. Beats one, beats two, still going. Sharonda with ball, great carry. Philippus again, fatigue clearly kicking into these players, as we've seen, as we can clearly see in their body language that we earlier mentioned. Penalty is the call with a quick tap and go. ETOSHA Lions looking to speed up this process. Great line there, however, met well. It's over the try line and the call is held up. The referee has summoned the captain of the Oranjemund, as well as the perpetrator there, who gets a yellow card. Ronald Salomons, of course, quick tap. Bosch. It's interesting to see what the call would be. Seems like a knock. However, the ref consulting with his linesman. The call is a try. It seemed like a knock on there by the vice captain, Donovan. However, clearly we are not the officiator of this game.
Yeah, I think unfortunately for the referee, we have a very good view of this game. I think we have the best view in the stadium, Henry. So we tend to see some of the calls that the ref doesn't.
Yeah, unfortunately, Donovan, that is the nature of the game. We have the best view. The ref has to make do with what he has, and making do with what he has is awarding the try. The score is merely a 1-point game. The conversion to come, of course. Great kick there by the vice captain, Franklin Bosch, who takes the lead for the ETOSHA Lions with, of course, a yellow card. As we look at that replay again, Bosch basically made the try. Again. As we look at that try there by Grobler, of course, who picks it up from his vice captain and just dots it. As we hear the chants from the stands there by the crowd, the man in your screen there, Ronaldo Salomons, who received a yellow card, clearly discipline being a very huge factor in today's game. As we've seen, most of the points that have been scored came from poor decision making, of course, by both this side. Losper definitely warming up. Seems like the boys from Oranjemund looking to make a substitute there. Number 20, Yaldrick Losper. Gino Wilson hoisted high into the Windhoek sky. Retains the ball, Oranjemund, ball in hand. Theodore Steenkamp. Demon looking like the busier man today. Busy since day one. Keenan Beekers, great carry there. One must applaud the hard work that is coming from the loose forwards of Oranjemund, of course. Great kick there behind the defense by Stefanus, who unfortunately is brought back. Obstruction is the call by the referee. Interesting to see what Gino Wilson will do right now. And the call is opting for post, of course, the most logical call. His kicking has not been the best of kicking today, one must highlight, of course. So, Hans mentioning an interesting call, of course, regardless of the position of the kick. Donovan.
Yeah, no, absolutely, Henry. I think a player of his caliber, having played the rugby he's played, when the going gets tough, I think he wants to take matters into his own hands, and there's no better way in that situation to take matters into your own hands than to take the 3 points, as opposed to going for the line out and leaving matters into the hands of your hooker and your lock forward and whoever. And unfortunately, he doesn't find the 3 points there, Henry.
Definitely Donovan taking matters into his own hands, not working out the knock on there by Keenan Beekers, who so far has been a flawless game. However, flaws do seem to find us sometimes, and it found him in the most unfortunate of scenes. Holding his hamstring there. Clearly I do not know if the knock-on gave him the injury, however, he is down there.
Yeah, Henry, I was about to ask you if it's one of those, you know, when you do something wrong and you want to blame something or someone else, and I think in that situation his hamstring had to take the blame there.
The hamstring definitely taking the blame there. However, very unfortunate scene, of course, not pleasing for any player to be down and out on the field in a final of this magnitude. Donovan, you mentioned it earlier that you want to be part of the history, of course. And as we look at the score, more or less 5 minutes by the perpetrator there in your screen, of course, Ronald Solomon, who earlier got a yellow card, of course.
Yeah, Henry, and I think it does confirm our suspicion, because Keenan seems to be well and ready to go, and as he's testing his hamstring there, and just moments ago his hamstring was in both his hands, and it seemed like it was the end of the road for him.
Yeah, no, definitely, Donovan. He clearly seems to be still feeling the hamstring, trying to see if he can and still continue with this game. As it stands, he is at the base of the Oranjemund scrum, ball in hand there. Ronald Solomon, apologies, Fernando, who feeds the scrum. So far, Temer's looking like he is putting his hand up there for the man of the match performance, the number 7 for Oranjemund, definitely being the busiest of the number 7s. Of course, we haven't seen much of Morkel, who also is being in the radar for the ETOSHA and been playing great rugby for ETOSHA over the years. However, today looking like a mere shadow of himself. As we look play again, great tackle, of course, in allowing daylight to happen.
A line out there in the hands of Johanko Grobler, who finds then his players. Toya there on the ball, great run there by Philippus Toya. Continuity by the ETOSHA Lions, a wide ball to the number 14. Great run there from the ETOSHA Lions as they continue and charge for the line there. Great stuff there from the ETOSHA Lions, Henry.
Definitely great charge there by the ETOSHA Lions, who now find themselves in the 5 of the meters away, of course. Seems like a try there. Great try by the vastly experienced Philippus Toya, who scores for the ETOSHA Lions. Clearly, they're writing their own script, Donovan, not the script we saw in the first half.
Yeah, absolutely a great momentum swing. It's turning out to be a great final, Henry. I think the fans are getting their money's worth. I think especially for the neutral spectators, it is turning out into a beautiful rugby game. Great continuity, great running, and a beautiful try there by Philippus Toya, showing great experience and sheer power to score that try there, Henry.
Philippus Toya there in your screen as we look at the replay for that great try scored there. We're waiting for the conversion to come to the vice captain Franklin Bosch, who has also been having an exceptional game so far. One must highlight the score is 25-19. The try scored at the depth of halftime clearly was the swing of the pendulum. One must mention, great kick there by Bosch, who meets it, who puts it over for yet another try and yet another conversion. One must mention the score is 27-19. As we look at that replay again, Philippus Toya just too powerful for the Oranjemund boys. Too hard for the referee to miss that one as he was standing right over it. Gino Wilson with ball in hand, hoisted high. Great kick by Gino Wilson. Retention of the ball good. One must highlight that the Oranjemund boys are definitely retaining the kick very well from kickoff. Clearly, they've been practicing well on that one.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And given the scoreline, Henry, I think even in this game they've had quite some practice with the restarts.
Yeah, no, definitely, Donovan. Ball in hand there, Gino Wilson. Dummies one, plays it to ball with the brother. Robert Stefanus. Again, the fluidity of the game not meeting the neutral fan, of course. It's almost been 10 minutes as we wait for the return, of course, of Ronald Solomon. The man in your screen there, who earlier got a yellow card for misconduct.
Yeah, no, I think he'll be absolutely gutted having his team having conceded a lot of points during his absence, Henry.
Definitely Grobler there in your screen to feed the line out. Grobler does exceptionally well on that line out. Callless offside advantage for the ETOSHA Lions. Clearly seems like another yellow card approaching the... Getting a stern warning, of course, as our man of the match so far, Terma, who's been doing great work there for the Oranjemund boys. However, this time around, illegally doing so. Very quiet game from George Turner, the number 15 of ETOSHA Lions, of course. Robert with yet another line out to feed, and does so exceptionally well. Great. Sharonda with ball in hand, carries, beats one, beats two. Clearly a difficult fella to get off. Interesting call there by the referee again, Donovan. We speak of being the better quick tap and go there. Oh, Coach Killer. One must highlight. First a forward, then a knock on is the call by the referee. Making his way back onto the field, Ronald Solomon, of course, who earlier got a yellow card. Oranjemund back to full numbers. The absence of Ronald Solomon clearly was the difference in today's game, as they basically gave away the lead to the ETOSHA Lions.
Yeah, no, they'll be very gutted by the passage of the 10-minute passage. As we look at the replays there, a great run there by ETOSHA Lions before an unfortunate knock there by Giovanni Redman.
No, definitely, Donovan. A try-scoring opportunity gone bagging there. Also, the ref called for a timeout for an injury. Seems like Ryan getting some medical attention, of course. Referee calling for blood substitution, it seems.
Yeah, it's interesting that he would stop the game for an injury that's clearly not on the field, Henry.
Yeah, no, definitely taking into consideration also the player that is injured. Not very much involved. Apologies there, the player that is injured is not, it's Lionel Plykis. As we get the game underway once more again to feed the scrum there. The man that just had a yellow card, Ronald Solomon, feeds. However, the ETOSHA Lions dominating the scrums. And yet another penalty from the ETOSHA Lions. Great scrum there from the boys from Tsumeb.
I think the writing is on the wall now, Henry. this scrum just, in my view, summed up the game for us, Henry. I think Oranjemund are in way over their depths at the moment, and ETOSHA Lions are clearly the better team. Whether that's, as we look at that replay there, a steamroll, another steamroll of a scrum. Henry, I think they were absolutely bamboozled there, Henry.
Definitely, Donovan. That's pure strength, one would highlight, on top of technique. Bosch there to add, to extend the score. Of course, if this kick is successful. Lines it up and makes sure of that. Great penalty there by the vice captain, of course, who extends this lead for the boys from ETOSHA. If you watch the first half, you wouldn't have expected this. However, currently the boys from the north clearly showing and flexing their muscles in this mouth-watering fixture, of course. Gino Wilson with ball in hand to restart. Body language from the boys from Oranjemund, not what we have, not what we expect. Great take out of the air by Sharonda. Oh, what a line there by Denville Morkel, of course, who is a former player of the UNAM as well. Ball in hand there, number 13, Divan Stein. Man down, but the game has to continue. The ETOSHA Lions retaining the ball, hoisted high to the Windhoek sky. Philippus with the chase, however not here. Robert Stewart with ball in hand. Knock on is the call by the referee. Ref currently playing advantage. Gubi with ball in hand, steps out of play is the call. Met well by the experienced Gino Wilson. The call is line out, however the referee not taking note of what his linesman Mate there in your screen has picked up. It was a step into touch, out of touch, one must mention. The width of the field not being enough for Sharonda. Johannes Stefanus. Sorry, Roxano Besaiden Hout, who is about to feed the line out for the boys from Oranjemund. Men down there who also came from the bench for the ETOSHA Lions. Giovanni Rittman, however, making his way back on his feet. Reginald Losper to feed the line out. Yet another substitute. Great feed there, finding hand, driven back. Oranjemund losing more meters than they are gaining. Cloud Beekers with a great carry. Retention of the ball good. Oh, knock on is the call by the referee. Advantage being played, of course. Lionel Platt is being very busy fella today, Donovan. After coming from the bench, one must highlight. Time off is the call there by the referee, as there is a man down. The stadium slowly but surely picking up. Incident earlier, if you just missed it, that monster of a scrum from the ETOSHA Lions. And the 3 points there that were added to extend the score for the boys from ETOSHA. Seems like a substitution there is the call from the referee. Claude Beekers, your screen clearly not able to continue. Roxano Besaidenout is called on to substitute Claude Beekers. Yet another scrum there for ETOSHA to show and flex their muscles. However, the ball is in favor of the Oranjemund boys.
Reset.
Reset is the call. Previous scrum clearly looking like a much better show from the boys from Oranjemund. Could it be the likes of the Roxano Besaidenout who just came on? We're yet to find out as we're about to feed yet another scrum.
Another collapse of the scrum there. It's the second time they've had to reset it. Henry, I think the ref needs to talk to the front rowers on both ends and try and figure out what's going on before injuries start happening.
Yeah, no, definitely, Donovan. Clearly, what looked to be a much better second half is turning to be a summary of what we have witnessed so far of today's game.
Again, another reset.
Again, this speaks to fatigue as well, Donovan. Looking at the body language of the players, clearly they're not having it anymore. It is one of those, the boys from Oranjemund also just clearly telling us that they're ready to go back home, and it seems like they really are not having it anymore if you look at their body language.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Another strong scrum there. It goes out through the mouth. A great run, a great carry there by the ETOSHA Lions, number 19, Justin Range. But unfortunately, it seems like he eventually knocked it on. And bringing it back here, Henry, the ball came out through the mouth, so it was interesting that the ref let it play on in a position to resetting that scrum there, Henry.
Definitely, Donovan. We spoke last week about how a few weeks ago how refereeing decision totally dominates and creates a whole different aspect of the game, and we are witnessing that again. We had a few complaints and chants, of course, of the finals we had in the Premier League, where the captain of F&B Wanderers mentioned that referee decisions really did hammer, of course, their success. And right now we're witnessing exactly that, one must mention.
Yeah, no, absolutely, because the Oranjemund boys lost about 45 meters due to a bad call of a referee. And unfortunately now they have to defend the ball as the Etosha Lions score a beautiful try there through your Uncle Grobler, their hooker. Beautiful try, take nothing away. Regardless of what we just said, Henry, I think that was a beautiful try there by the Etosha Lions.
No, definitely. Johanko Grobler there scoring his second try of today's game. Almost starting to seem as this is a victory secured for the boys of Etosha, of course. The boys from the far north definitely flexing their muscles today through their scrums, through their hard work. As we look at that replay again, Johanko Grobler, very strong fella to get down. With all the efforts from the Oranjemund defense, one must award the fact that it was a good try, one must say.
Yeah, Henry, I think one should commend the physique of these Etosha Lions. I think it could be due to game meat that they eat up there, or is it that they have lean beef out there? As Franklin Bush converts and adds another 2 points there to his personal tally and to the scoreline, overall scoreline of the Etosha Lions, bringing the scoreline there to 37 for Etosha Lion and 19 to the Oranjemund boys. As we see the replay there, great run, elusively done by your Uncle Grobler. And it brings me back, Henry, I was saying, these forwards from the Etosha Lions are very lean. If you look at Philippus Toya and now the try scorer in your Uncle Grobler, very elusive, very lean, and very rapid. Is it something they eat up there, or what do you think, Henry?
I do not know what they eat up there. However, today they are eating a gemsbok, the Lions, one must mention.
Oh, beauty. Oh, what a beautiful run there. But unfortunately, the ball is out, and it's a line out to Oranjemund as they look to, seems like, oh no, that's not the case. It looked for a second there that they wanted to play it fast, but I think they would rather opt for the line out.
Yeah, no, definitely, Donovan, you spoke of body and physique of the Etosha Lion players. One must highlight, if you look at the two teams, you would see difference in physique, of course. And again, it comes down to how you take care of your body, of course, also something that should be mentioned as a rugby player at this level, of course. With ball in hand there, number 6 of the Oranjemund, Ryan Isaacs, with a small goose. Oranjemund still with ball in hand, great retention there, of course, offload. Roxano Baseda note. Referee bringing the call back. For a penalty. Tap and go is the call. Great carry by the Oranjemund commentator, man of the match there. Temers. Ball retention looking good. Ornaldus carried and met well by the Etosha defense. Great tackle there. Once more again, Temers carries, but Matt calling for the ball. Very stop steady game as that we're witnessing right now. Isaacs, ball in hand, explosive player there, one must mention. No depth in the Oranjemund, one must highlight as well. Not gaining any meters through their captain there, Gino Wilson. Looking clueless as it seemed. Tap and go is the call by Gino Wilson. Clearly looking like a bully there.
Yeah, Henry, you did mention that before they were called for the penalty there, they looked pretty deflated and out of options and confused as to what to do with the ball in Oranjemund as they drive it there. Again, another pickup and drive there from Oranjemund. Ball in the hands of Gino Wilson, who finds his lock forward. A great drive there from Oranjemund. as they find themselves just shy of the try line. A great run there from their number 12. Beautiful run there from Theodore Steenkamp. Gino Wilson, oh, beautiful. He finds Wine Spear Tamers. A great run, great continuity as Oranjemund gets a penalty advantage. Still Oranjemund charging for the try line there. Tamers again on the ball. He's had a lot of carries in this game, Henry.
Definitely, as we've mentioned, carried most of the balls, of course. That's a try. Rewarding for the hard work there. Roxano Basedano came from the bench. Clearly, the inspiration that the boys from Oranjemund needed. Gino Wilson taking matters into his own hands, trying for a quick drop, and does so successfully. The score is 26-37. Definitely the boys from Oranjemund getting inspiration from Roxano Basedano, who made his way from the bench a few minutes back.
Yes, Henry, 9 points left with about a minute left in this game. Do you think it's still up for the taking, or do you think the writing is on the wall here for ETOSHA Lions?
Definitely not one of those games that, of course, we do not know what the refs' time and the stoppages were. As we look at that replay of that hard work try, Basedano there grabbing the ball from the commentator's man of the match, Wine Spear Tamers, and just dotting it between the goal post. As we get this game underway again through the vice captain Franklin Bosch. Short kick there, Gino Wilson met well by Philippus Toja. Great kick high into the Windhoek sky. One must mention Nico Steenkamp after the mishap that he had. We haven't seen him all game, Donovan.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think he's shied away from this game since that incident very early in the game. Nico van started.
Ball in handy. Ronald Solomon about to feed the scrum. ETOSHA Lion, if you're just joining us, they've been dominating the scrums. Penalty is the call, quick tap. The ref brings it back. The mark not accurate. Isaacs Ryan. Kerry. Great appreciation of the laws there by him. Ronald Solomon feeds the back line. Gino Wilson beats one, beats two. Again, flat running from the boys from Oranjemund, who attacks the left side of the flank. Yet another coach killer advantage is the call. Guvishita Sharonda carries down the middle. Isaacs approaching him, handoff is the and a bump. Roxano Basedano, not much meters gained, however he has bodies on the line, one must mention. Depth again a problem. Gino Wilson attacking, beats one, beats two, offloads. The boys from Oranjemund definitely running it out. Great pass. Try time is the goal, however referee consulting with his linesman there. Almost feels like a forward pass, probably what the ref is consulting with his linesman there. And he awards the try. Mate clearly not agreeing with that, as he's also consulting with the referee. No try is the call. Forward pass as we have seen it, Donovan. Again, applaud us for having the best view in the house. Well spotted there. As we look at that replay again, forward pass there by Gino Wilson. And the referee blows the final whistle. You are looking at your champions. The ETOSHA Lions have won the first division. Definitely two of the players that stood out there, Philippus and Grobler, who were very much instrumental in today's victory for the ETOSHA Lions. Donovan, who do you think is your man of the match today? Obviously not our commentators, man of the match, as he leaves us hanging and not with a victory to make history.
I think I'll give this one to the vice captain and number 12 in Franklin Bush for having a great day on the boot. And as we get ready for some interviews on the sidelines here with CJ, I think I'll give the man of the match definitely to Franklin Bush for his great performances today.
Definitely, Donovan, the experience of Franklin Bush clearly coming in handy today as the ETOSHA Lions pull off a victory against the boys from Oranjemund. We thought history will be written today, however, it's not to happen for the boys from Oranjemund. Great encounter there between the two as we're about to cross over to CJ for an interview.
Thank you so much, Henry and Donovan, for entertaining us through that 80 minutes of this final. Now I'm joined by the team manager of ETOSHA Lions. Johan, talk to us about how you're feeling after that victory.
Well, foremost, I would just want to thank our Lord Jesus Christ in heaven for this. All the glory and honor to Him. For me, it's a big win. All the hard work, the boys and us, all the hard work we paid off. You can see the score 37-24, so it was worth it. All the hard work was worth it.
Now, John, talk to us about what was said at halftime for ETOSHA Lions to make the comeback that they did, especially after trailing to Oranjemund.
I think the first half was like the guys was not finding the game, and you know it's a final, so you're not at ease and you don't know what's going to happen. But in the second half, we went to them, we said to them, and we want you to play the game that you've been taught to play. So we want you to bring in the discipline, do the tackles, follow up on each other, and that's exactly what they did, and you can see the difference in the score. I mean, we were way back, and we came in and we played the game that we've been playing all along that brought us here. So we are very happy. This is a big win for us, and we're going to take the cup to the north, so we're happy with that.
Johan, maybe just lastly, please look into that camera and just thank your supporters back home, whether it's in English or in Afrikaans.
Ja, ek wil vir almal sê baie dankie daar in die noorde, Grootfontein, Tsumeb, Otjiwarongo, Oudtshoorn, en dan hier in Windhoek plaaslik wil ek vir julle sê baie dankie. Thank you to everybody who supported us. There's Wellsprings, there is Wimpy Tsumeb, there is Quality Tires, so many people that just lifted us up with finances. We want to thank you very much for this, and the cup is coming home. Thank you very much.
The cup is indeed coming home. Congratulations. Go out there and go celebrate. There you have it, of course, Johan, the team manager, John, the team manager of ETOSHA Lions, just taking that victory in this NRU First Division League for 2025.
As we yet to encounter, if you're just joining us today, the ETOSHA Lion winning the first division of the league in today's encounter between ETOSHA Lions and the boys from Oranjemund. As we look at the highlight of the second half, great kick there by the commentator's man of the match, of course, in the name Franklin Bosch. ETOSHA, the boys from Oranjemund, the first half boys from Oranjemund looked as though they're going to take this game with great dominance in the first half, of course. Great offload there by Gino Wilson, who scored the try. They're trying to inspire the boys from Oranjemund, of course. As we look at the highlights of the first half, of course, if you're just joining us, we are live from Hage Geingob Stadium, where the ETOSHA Lions clinched another title by beating the boys from Oranjemund 37-20. Great dominance there by Keenan Beekers, who bullied his way over the try line to score a try. As we go back to CJ for yet another interview with CJ.
Thank you so much again, guys. Yes, I am joined by the losing coach, unfortunately, Coach Andrews. Tough game out there. You guys were leading. What was the assignment for the boys in the second half that they maybe just couldn't execute?
Yeah, we could have a better execution, contested more for the lineouts, so we got lost there between the halftime and the end. Yeah, like I said in the beginning on the pre-interview, mental strength is what's going to pull you through. So ETOSHA Lions, they were behind very much, where the score was very high, but they had mental strength and they came back. Congratulations to them.
Coach, maybe your final words to your supporters that were maybe watching back home.
Yeah, to all our supporters, thank you to our sponsors. You guys, we have disappointed you guys, but we love you guys, and we'll be back next year stronger.
Definitely. So all the best of luck for next year, Coach, and we'll be waiting to see you back here.
Thank you, CJ.
There you have it, of course, Coach Andrews, just summing up their feat here at the final of the NRU First Division. Unlucky for them, but what a game there by ETOSHA Lions, coming back to claim that cup for a second time.
Thank you so much, CJ. As we just heard it there from the coach of the Oranjemund. Guttily disappointed by the performance, of course. As we look at the medal presentation there on your screen, the field clearly, slowly but surely filling up. Definitely still proud of their boykies, as you can see in the stands, of course. The girls and boys from Oranjemund. Handing over the medals there, the president of the Namibian Rugby Union, of course. If disappointment was a person, you definitely, or if it were people, you definitely see in the Oranjemund clearly an episode of we blew it. One must mention for the boys from Oranjemund, after so much dominance in the first half, of course. Donovan, would you blame that on fatigue, or what exactly do you think the boys from Oranjemund did wrong in the second half?
Yeah, definitely fatigue did play a huge role. The fact that they haven't played rugby in 6 weeks. But I think another thing also, we shouldn't take away from the coaching that has gone into this ETOSHA Lions team. You could definitely see throughout the game that they are a very well coached team. They had very good structures, and especially at their lineouts, they showed very good initiatives and played some beautiful rugby today, and kudos to them. Beautiful victory for them, and well deserved.
Definitely, Donovan, the word there is resilience from the boys from ETOSHA, who really showed it throughout today's game. They really were looking like the hungrier side in the second half. One must highlight the fact that when the going got tough, they really kept going. Man of the match, their award, of course, as Donovan earlier mentioned. Clearly, Donovan, your eyesight is on point, like a decimal, of course. The man on your screen there of course, the ETOSHA Lion Vice Captain Franklin Bosch awarded the man of the match for today's game. Donovan, clearly you were watching rugby league. The captain button there receiving the first medal, of course, for the ETOSHA Lions. Followed there by Morkel. We've just witnessed the first division finals between the ETOSHA Lions and Oranjemund. The boys clearly so happy there, traveling about 400 plus minus kilometers to come clinch a title. Definitely something worth celebrating. The man receiving the medal there, Philippus Tuya, very much accustomed to winning, as he also lifted both the reserve and the Premier League title once upon a time with F&B Wanderers.
Henry, one would wonder if he has a personal or a record of his own there in being the only player to achieve that milestone. I think we'll have to research that and find out if there's any other player in Namibia's history that has won all the leagues.
Definitely. Another player that comes close to that may be Jimmy, of course, who also won the league last weekend with F&B Kudus. However, like you've mentioned, Donovan, we have to mention that and also do research on that. Philip is definitely looking like he has won the First Division Reserve League as well as the Premier League, and what an accolade to have. Coach there, John of ETOSHA, of course, earlier just mentioning how proud he is of his boys with an interview with CJ, how proud he is of his boys for clinching yet another title for them. The weather beautiful for yet another mouth-watering clash. A mere 22 degrees Celsius in the capital, Windhoek, of course, at the Hage Geingob Stadium. As you see your champions there, ETOSHA Lions. Applause, applause, applause all round. Very emotional victory, as you've seen it, of course. Definitely a day of celebration today if you find yourselves in the area of Tumap, Grootfontein, as well as Oshiwarongo, as they would call it, the Driehoek. Clearly something rehearsed for the fans, of course. Their very own haka. Definitely, clearly something like we would know the Pacific teams would do. Champion, champion, champion. A very personalized hug. As we look at the highlights, of course, Sharonda also one of the players that really stood out today. Great strong carry there to score. He's tried a much quieter second half. One must mention. One must also applaud the kick that Gino Wilson restarts. Really, retention of the ball was great. That try again there by Grobler, of course, also a contester for the man of the match performance. It was very much a team effort more than anything else. by the boys from ETOSHA. Very inspirational. As we look at that try there by Philippus, who made history, of course, by being arguably one of the only players to have won all divisions of rugby in the Namibian League, of course. Yet another try there by Grobler, who has been keeping the Oranjemund defense busy. Great drive there. You can see how much it means to the boys from ETOSHA, that try. Commentator man of the match who assisted Roxano Besaidenout. If you're just joining us, we have witnessed the finals, of course, of the first division. Join us again later this afternoon, of course,